Well, hey garden friends, it's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard. Today we're here in my front entry sort of courtyard area of my home, and I'm going to be putting out some beautiful fall planters today with all kinds of gorgeous fall colors. I'm going to be moving lots of plants around and making sort of a plant and autumn inspired decor here in the front of my home, and I'm going to do that with lots of living things and plants. So I think it's going to be a really good day. So let's go ahead and start. I'll give you a little tour of the plants up here, kind of talk you through what my plan is going to be, and then we'll head to the backyard and look at some of the gorgeous plants for fall that I'm going to be using for these containers today. So this is my entryway, and this is one of the pots that I'm going to be redoing today. You can see I have my fun little flag here, but this grass is really not the right choice for this pot. Look how big this is. You can't even see the pot that's under here, and it's really gotten out of control. It's really not good for a container like this. And if I don't do something about it soon, I'm a little afraid it's going to be real difficult, to get the roots out of there. So I am going to try my best to get both of these out. Now, I might save them for a different project or something, or I might just get rid of them. I'm really not sure, but I definitely need to get these out of here. I also have in this pot a little vine maple, and it's doing pretty good, but I need to get in here and, stake it up again, or on a bigger stake. And I need to probably do some pruning to some of the branches and try to, train this up better. And then down here, I do have the creeping Jenny, which will, it will die out once we get a first cold snap. But for now, it looks really good. I also have some primroses in here. They're left over from spring. So I'm either going to pull out the primroses and put in probably some pansies here just to add some color. And then I can always add the primroses to my landscape, or again, I can give them away, or, go ahead and just put them into the compost. We have a Japanese maple that has gotten just way big for this space. I'm a little concerned at this point about doing some major, cut back to this. The trunk is nicely shaped. I mean, I feel like it's okay for the space, the way that we tried to do it here, but I almost feel like it's outgrowing. So I'm really not sure what to do or how to, slow down the growth of that. So hopefully it's done and it will slow down. And this is a jasmine vine that we need to trim back again before the trick-or-treaters and such get here. We've got to make this more clear, although we do usually put a big spider. Sorry, the lighting's not great. We put a big spider up on top of it and like a web. So it is kind of fun and spooky, I think, for kids to come through this archway, but we need to trim it and clean it up for the season. And then same with this way, I'm just going to make sure that everything is off the pathway enough. But everything is looking good. I mean, a lot of my summer things are still blooming. I've got some gorgeous coleus and some little zinnias here that are still blooming on this side. And then these are some of the marigolds I put in. Now these ones I purchased from a neighbor. She grows some seedlings in the neighborhood. Oops, I just ran into a spider web. And so, but they're holding their own there. This is a daylily that's done for the season. And then I did pop these 4 little guys back there. I don't know if they're going to do anything. They're a dianthus. The coleus on this side is really stunning right now. It just did really, really good. I put this in the spring, so is what I'm saying. But it did kind of lull in the middle of summer when it was really hot. But now it just looks insane, and it's gorgeous and pretty. I need to use this in some of my cut flower bouquets. That would be fun. It's such a pretty chartreuse color. And then over here, another daylily, a couple, containers from summer that are still going. There's a couple of vinca over there that are still doing something. Couple more zinnias just tucked in here, and a few more of the marigolds down in here as well. Okay, so up here we have a hanging basket from summer. Again, I need to probably treat it for budworms, but look, it's still going. It's still going strong. So that's really fun to see. So this area is what I'm going to have to kind of look at. I've got some stuff here that needs to go away. Obviously, this one's got to be treated for budworms. This is just a geranium and cleaned up. These, I believe, are 2 more like hardy geranium types. So I might try to find a place in the landscape for those 2. And then some of the other things I'm going to be bringing inside any of my jade. It's it's time. They've had enough for the season. I don't want them to start to get too damp. One thing though that I am bringing out as far as houseplants, you guys, are Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving cactus, or Easter cactus. So now's the time. My suggestion is to bring them outside. You know, it's not freezing temperatures yet. It's still mild in the day as long as you can find somewhere. So you can see this one got a little scorched one day there, but as long as they get some shade, because they need those nighttime temperatures to be, you know, in the 50s, that will signal the plant that it's going to be time to bloom soon. So that is my recommendation. If you want to get these to rebloom, put them out in the fall when the weather's still mild and just let them be overnight in the 50s for a week. I mean, watch the weather, but give them some time in the chill, in the cold, and then they will rebloom for you. So I'm going to clean up this rack and get some things and trade some things around. And then the other areas here, I've got these big pots with this salvia that I've absolutely loved this season. It has just been stunning. It has bloomed and bloomed. I've got a really pretty coleus here. So this whole container is lovely, and I could leave it here, and I might. One container I do need to work on is these. So these, you guys, are a 3-ball topiary. This is an evergreen of some kind, and I got this at Home Depot, I believe. So, and I have a matching one. So the other one is over here, pardon my shoes, on my porch there. But you can see I've let them get very woolly for the summer, and that's good, right? That's when they put on growth. This one's got a little bit of damage up there, but now it's time to shape these and train them, you know, up and give them a grooming, because we're getting into, you know, the season when they can tolerate that. They're going to be fine. It's cooler nights, again, cooler temperatures, as long as you don't take off too much. Now you want to be a little careful. And then this guy is sappy as well. So I know that I'm going to be dealing with sap, but you'll be surprised how well these will clean up. But now in fall is the perfect time to give them a haircut. I'm also going to be looking for stuff like this. The hummingbird and carrot from springtime probably needs to go away. And then I did buy just 4 pumpkins today at the grocery. I need to clean them up. But I got these 2, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do a stacked pumpkin thing, because I do have 2 white flat pumpkins that are growing in my garden. Look at these geraniums are reblooming here, really pretty. I have a couple different kinds in here. So anyway, I'm going to work on a stacked pumpkin thing. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest those 2 flat whites that I grew this year and try to do like a real legit pumpkin stack instead of, you know, a faux one. So hopefully it'll work. I did put just super basic decor up. I have this wreath here up, and a super, you know, it's like already worked, just a little inexpensive Dollar Tree sign. And then I pulled out my mat from Costco last year. So again, I need to straighten this up, but I do have that mat from last year. It held up really, really well. I just put it in the shed, and I'm able to bring it back out and reuse it. So I like that. Less money I have to spend for, you know, doing this kind of fun stuff is good. Well, I think that's all my projects and all my plants. So let's go ahead and look at the new plants that I got that I'm going to be filling this courtyard with. All right, well, I thought I'd give you a tour of some of these gorgeous plants I'm going to be working with today. The first one is this heuchera. This one is the Forever Purple, it's called. And look how beautiful this is, you guys. I really wish I had snagged 2 of these. I just grabbed the one because I'm pretty sure this is going to go in that largest blue container that I'm going to be redoing. But I did get multiples of these. So these I got last year, and they will last all season for me here in Zone 8B. This one in particular is the Pigeon Purple ornamental cabbage. So this one, I got 4 of those. So I'm thinking 1 for each side of the flower stand, and maybe 1 for each side of my porch. I'm not really sure, but honestly, they were so beautiful. Now they were a little pricey. They were right around $10 each. So, but because I know that they're going to last all winter, I feel better about that purchase. Also, I know that, you know, I need color in my containers. Even in the winter, I want to have something in there. So I think it's going to be a good choice. Then I got two of these mums, and you can see this is the first one that's opened up. So it's a nice tightly budded one. And again, when you're buying them, make sure they're budded up and look for any broken stems. The stems can be really, really fragile. And so sometimes there can be broken ones hidden in there that are just propped up. This one is just the pink mum. It just says pink. And so that is that one and that one. And then I got two other mums. These ones are just, it just says orange. So just kind of generic, but I don't, I kind of like the ones where it has like multiple colors in one pot. But then again, I kind of like it just like this. So I did get sort of the purple to go with the ornamental kale, and then this or cabbage, and then the mums. So four mums. And then you guys, these were such a good deal. I couldn't pass them up. They were 40% off. And look at them. I feel like they're just coming into full color. So this one is a Rebecca, and this is a perennial for me. So that's another thing. Now the mums also, I am planning to try perennializing as well because they've done good in containers. And this one is the Cappuccino Rebecca. So this one's a little bit darker, but I couldn't believe they were half off and looked this good. So I snagged both of those, and I love the colors on those. At this garden center, they also had some little cabbage. So look at these, you guys. Aren't they perfect for my window box? So I grabbed four of those, two of the green and two of the purple, so I can alternate. And then this is a flat of pansies that's been sitting near my greenhouse for about a week and a half. I need to get in here and groom these, but you can see I just got all different colors. Pansies will last pretty well. I mean, they will stop blooming in the winter, but they won't die a lot of times. And then sometimes even if they seem dead, they'll come back in the spring. So again, these are a good, like, kind of long-term winter investment piece, I think. And they're also just great to tuck in containers. They bring in a lot of color. So when I'm looking at my plant choices here, I'm feeling really good about like the colors and all the textures. And so I'm so excited to use these plants in my fall plantings. Something else I could take out there is the purple fountain grass. You can see it rained this morning, so they're a little flopped. They need to dry out fully, but these are so pretty. I grabbed these at Bauman's Farms when I was out there, and I do go in and kind of deadhead them. So let me show you. So here's one that you can see all the plumes are gone, or the fluffy part. And so I will come in here and kind of deadhead these if they get like that, or if they break or something like that. But they will continue to put on new seed heads, and they're just so pretty. The only thing here is we do get a lot of moisture, and when it does rain, they do flop. So I might have to put them sort of behind things where they can stay a little drier under the cover. I also have these I'm going to use probably today, or at least they're available. Now these ones, I believe, are these a coleus? They're sitting in a lot of water right now, you guys. Let's see. I think they're a coleus, but they're really pretty. Oh no, it's an Alternea red thread. So I'm not sure how cold hardy these are. I've never tried them before, but I really like the color on those, so I could definitely use those. And these Osterspermum are coming back and are going to have some blooms, and I'm pretty sure they're kind of a warm yellowish red or orange, so I could pop those in there too. Then another thing I have to work with are the marigolds. I have the marigolds kind of in mind for a different project, but I do have these that I grew from seed. So I don't know what this guy's doing here, but the rest of them look awesome. And so I have a whole flat of those that I could use in this project or other fall projects. So as far as tools today, I just have a drop cloth or old sheet. This one's been around forever. I've got a pair of snips. I've got my hori hori knife. And then I do have this pair of snips, these clippers, to shape the topiaries with, because that's something I'd really like to get done today. And then I am just going to grab a bucket. I have this nice bucket I just got at like my local kind of animal feed stores, things that would have things for animals. It's like a trough bucket, and it works great for this. I can just put any plants that I'm going to transplant into this and transport them that way. It's a lot less messy than trying to like pot them up on the spot. So I'm going to grab this, and I have a couple other buckets I might grab also. I'm going to get going on the planters first. I think that's what I'm going to tackle. And I think I'm going to, what do they say about eating a pig or whatever, one bite at a time? Or is it an elephant? It's an elephant. I'm just going to start with kind of my hardest pot, which is probably going to be the biggest one, and get in there and try to get those grasses out, and then just work my way to whatever happens. It's kind of a creative process for me. I have to just kind of go with the flow and, you know, see what comes next, you know, for me in the process. It might be to stack the pumpkins. It might be to put up, you know, some decor that I already have. I have some bins of decor too that I might look through. But it kind of just like happens, right? But today I'm going to focus on the plants. It's such a gorgeous day. So let's get started. I feel like this is a battle royale. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have learned my lesson. I have learned my lesson. I mean, this is a cool look if you're into this look, but if you ever want to change the look, yeah, this grass is pretty, it's pretty happy. It doesn't want to go anywhere. In fact, a bigger shovel might be necessary, or a little bit more muscle than I have. Let me see if I can start to rock it back and forth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, oh gosh. Oh, I got it. Oh God, here it comes. Whew. So yeah, I definitely had to cut through the roots. Whew. All right, there's one down. I think I'm gonna need another bucket. Sorry, spiders. Sorry, snails. Actually, snails, you need to go elsewhere. Sorry, buddy, you gotta go. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start on the other one. Hopefully this one will be a little easier since the other one just came out. Maybe. I'm really not sure. And I've forgotten how big this pot is. I didn't pick the color of it really. I mean, I got it for a steal of a deal from like a estate sale. And so I didn't really I probably wouldn't have picked this color if I was purchasing it. Oh, there's a baby one of these grasses in here. Oh no, it's just tucked around. Anyway, I probably wouldn't have picked this particular color, but I don't mind it. I think it's kind of pretty. Oh my gosh. It's almost like you can feel where it's still attached. I think this little maple tree will be very happy to get these out. There we go. I got it. I did not have another bucket, however. So we're just going to go over here. That was a workout. I'm really glad I did it now and not wait until another year or whatever, because then it would have been impossible. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these roots too, probably. And now I can see the structure of this tree better too and kind of make some decisions. I definitely need a longer stake. But yeah, it's kind of fun to have this in here as well. I had an evergreen in here last winter and it just did not overwinter well. So much room in this pot now. I'm so excited to put new stuff in here. So let's go ahead and kind of think about design. I've got this Rebecca here, which will be so pretty here in the front. So I'll have to play around with placing. I'm just going to pop some plants in here. I've got this really pretty red threads. Oh, I love that. With this blue pot even, it looks really pretty. And then I'm going to go grab a couple more plants. Beautiful ornamental cabbage. This one's called the Pigeon Purple, and it's so beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and find a place for that. Again, I might play around with placement here because now I've got the two purples next to each other. So maybe the echinacea needs to go in front, and then maybe the purple on this side. That looks nice. And then I've got some pansies to play with. This one is a rose shades pansy. You can see the different colors in this one. So it brings in kind of that warmth to the arrangement, but still sticking with like the pinks and purples. And then I have one that's a little bit more purple. This is the neon violet pansy. This one's like a little darker and a little smaller, I would say, of a bloom. And then I've got this one, which is more of just an orange color for the pansies. And again, I have really good luck with pansies. They are a workhorse. So all winter long, they will keep blooming for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and place these ones kind of like I have them here facing out, and then probably fill in the backs and maybe in between a little bit with the pansies. And I think it's going to look really pretty. And then in this pot, I'm going to go ahead and use the pots I just, emptied out. And we're going to go ahead and remove the primroses. Might want my hoary knife, but now you could also totally leave these in and they would come back in the spring. But, oh no, I might just clean them up and put something fresh in here. Where's my knife? Here it is. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed 4 marigolds that I grew from seed because they're just the perfect size. Pop down in here. And then we'll have at least some autumnal color. These will bloom. Look really pretty here. And then I don't love the scent of marigolds. I grew a lot more marigolds last year, and I grew some of like the big ones for cut flowers and stuff. And I don't know, they weren't my favorite to work with. Just the kind of odor of them isn't my favorite. But I don't mind them for like bedding plants or for containers. They do really have a nice color, and they can handle our cooler temperatures as we transition into fall. Okay, so a couple tips I have for you on trimming up the topiaries. Get a sheet. Let me move this out the way here. Get a sheet or a tarp or something, and I'm going to put it around the bottom, kind of like a barber, with a cape or hairdresser. So that's going to make it a lot easier for cleanup for me. So I'm just going to put it around the base as far as I can get to where I'll be trimming, and then kind of tuck it under the branches, and then I'm going to spray it out as much as I can. Now, I could probably honestly use a bigger one of these, but I'm going to make do with what I have here. So I'm just going to like tuck it underneath, and then I'm going to grab my clippers. I like these ones. They're kind of this is what the blade looks like. It's like a short blade, and then I'm just going to kind of go in upward, like curving motions, kind of like this, to sort of, try to get that round shape back that it had been trimmed at one time. Now these topiaries are about 3 or 4 years old at this point. Well, let's see, I've done this process at least twice. I think they're 3 years old. I had gotten them for Mother's Day one year, and they've done really well for me. They're a great winter interest. So now's the time of year where I want to get them trimmed. Trying to kind of fluff up a few branches here and see. Now there are some gaps and stuff. Now, I think one thing I can do is when you're first learning and stuff is to be like really timid with it. So you kind of have to make sure you're at least taking a snip off of every surface. That's going to be better for the health of the plant. So that way the whole plant will sort of signal itself like, hey, we've been sort of sheared back. And the shaping is, it kind of depends on how it's growing as well. I might get in and do a little bit more here, but I think I'm going to move on to the second ball. So one area I'm paying special attention to is in between the round surfaces. I really want to clean up these in between areas, both the bottom and top sphere, to create that room. And I think that that negative space helps you to see the form. So I want to pay a special attention. So I'll probably take off a little bit more through here and then go up underneath this shape too. So let me bring the camera in a little bit closer. Also, I need to deal with the top of this that got scorched. So depending on how big this gets, I'm going to have to deal with that too. Another tip I would have for you is to give yourself plenty of time. Don't be in a rush, and try to like slow down and take your time, because that's what I do is I get in a rush and then I get mad at myself. So slow down, enjoy the process. Whew, just made it. That was a lot. There's a wasp checking me out all of a sudden. He's checking out these pumpkins. All right, so I went ahead and harvested the pumpkins I got this year, only the 3, and then some little ones. But I am really excited about the size of the 2 flat whites here that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and add these in. And then my plan was to try to stack them and do a trio of stacked pumpkins. I've seen so many faux ones and I've almost bought them, but I thought, well, if I've got the 2 flat white in my garden and I buy a couple more, maybe I can try to just do it myself with, the real ones. So I'm just taking a minute. I'm going to clean these just a little bit with my rag. So yeah, I've got some worms up in here. So it's probably good that I'm getting this out of here. So I'm going to try to clear out. Sorry, worms, but you got to go. You got to go. The only thing about stacking is you have to cut the stems really, really short. So again, either one of these, if I was going to stack, those stems of the white ones are way too long. So, I mean, I can decide what I want to do. I kind of want to just like place it and see if this will even work. I think it'll work. I could always cheat and use like a little bit of tape or something. Maybe not tape, but something to kind of hold them in place. And then the big blue one, I'm just going to sort of add it in somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. So I have to make the decision if I want to cut this stem a lot shorter. So I think I will, and just try this and use probably a hori-hori knife to make that cut. Here, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I love it. It's so good. Again, these might tip over. I don't know. Maybe I need some hot glue or something. But I love the way this looks. So my white bottom one, the part that's turned toward me is kind of scarred. So I'm just going to spin that around a little bit. Looks good. All right, so I'm going to get in there with this stem. This one's even thicker than that one, so nothing says fall like these purple fountain grasses. I absolutely love these. I'm going to add these to this design. Oh, they're heavy though. All right, guys. Well, let me go ahead and give you a quick tour of how everything turned out today. First of all, I think this pot turned out so nice. It's so good to get all that crazy grass out of here and just enjoy some of these pansies, this beautiful echinacea, and that purple cabbage. Now the tree is, hopefully it will look a little better than this. I was hoping it would maybe turn colors, get orange or something like my Japanese maple, but I'm really not sure. But I did stake it up a little bit better. So we'll see how it continues to progress in this pot. I might end up doing something different here. And then the pansies, or I'm sorry, the primroses have been replaced with 4 of the marigolds, and they are just ready to pop. So I'm hoping those will do good here and it will be warm enough for them to develop. I moved my little sign over a little bit, and then coming this way, I did accomplish my 2 pumpkin stacks, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. They're just perfect to me. I mean, they're perfectly imperfect, and I think that's what I love about them, but they're not faux. They are real, so it's fun to decorate with real foliage. I moved my purple fountain grass in, and it looks so pretty here, and it brings that kind of fall vibe to this area. And then with the orange mums in front, and then I put the echinacea, the other echinacea here as that pop of orange. Now I definitely have, I have this here that I brought in, and then these are 2 lantana that may or may not bloom, but they're doing okay. And then I do have 2 more of the cabbage left and 2 more of the mums. So stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be doing another 2 pots on the side by my flower stand, and I'm going to be using them in that video, or for that project, I should say. So anyway, I think that the coleus looks awesome now. I feel like the coleus, it works now with the arrangement. I thought about moving these summer planters, but honestly, they look so good. I'm just going to leave them. The topiaries look 150% better. They're all trimmed up for the winter time. And, I could move these out of here and then bring them back for a winter display, but I'm just going to leave them here. It's a little crowded. I will say it's very maximalist planting here, because then behind that, I have my little shelf of all of my Christmas cactus. I did leave 1 aloe out, which I'll probably have to move at some point, but these are getting those cooler night temperatures I was talking about for blooming. And I did pull that little cart forward a little bit. I don't know. I might push it back again if they start to get too wet, because I do want to keep them dry. And then I still have my welcome mat and my little sign there. I'm probably I have a little basket. I think I want to cut some hydrangeas and put in there. And then I might swap out that wreath as well for one that's more handmade looking. So I'm not sure if that's going to stay. Over here is the sister to the other side, and I was able to put the dichondra around there. Now the other one's not long enough because I planted it later in the season. And then I've got the blue kind of pumpkin there. I don't think it's a white one. I think it's a different variety than the flat white. The fountain grass, again, this one has the geraniums that are still blooming with that pink, which I don't mind. It kind of brings in that purple and pink. And here's the other topiary. I did the best I could to trim off all of the dead parts, the parts that were fried from the summer. And then I still need to move these into the greenhouse at some point. I just left them for now, but I will eventually move them. And I did pull that rack out from the corner just a little bit as well. And then over here, since I only put in 1 of these in the planter out front, I wanted to repeat that here. And then I just put the heuchera down there for, again, that pop of purple on this side. And I do have more area there for a few more pumpkins. So it would be fun to put maybe some faux pumpkins too. I have some faux pumpkins I could add to that little cart that would look really cute. So I am losing daylight fast, but here is how everything turned out. I got to be in this side because the sun's just coming up over that peak of my roof here. But I really love the way everything turned out. So tell me in the comments what you think. Is this too maximalist for you? Do you like things a little more simple? Or would you do something with all of these plants if you had the opportunity? I am really thankful that I can have a front entry and a little courtyard like this so that I can really use my imagination and have fun with all of these plants and organizing them in a way that looks beautiful to my eye. Thanks so much, friends, for coming on this gardening journey with me today. If you like this video, could you subscribe, share it with a friend, and give it a thumbs up? It would really help out my channel. And I hope that if you did like it, you would check out this video next. It's got some fun fall projects for you, and this playlist, which also has some great fall content for you. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're celebrating autumn in your gardens and in your life. I would love to read your comments if you have any suggestions for me or other things that you've tried to do a fall display. Thanks again so much for watching. If you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.